Hey guys, we're back with some more of what I like to call the letter, because that's what it's called. I used to do that, right? Did I do it right? So yeah, it's I kind of remember why I hate particularly Rebecca's Route now. It just drags and the branching tree lies to you. So like, okay, I only have 2 more notes to go, but there's actually 30 minutes in those 2 things. So yeah, Rebecca ran out of the hospital because NTR. Now Zachary's here. He doesn't waste any time. Well, I guess I'll play it.
Easy there, ma'am.
He doesn't waste any time, not even to wait for some form of gratitude from me, and quickly pulls me to my feet. However, it isn't until he draws a handkerchief from my pocket and gingerly hands it to me that I glance up at him, searching for an explanation.
For your, face.
He makes a vague gesture around his cheeks, his movement small and a bit awkward before letting his arm fall and hang at his sides, suddenly too afraid to point it out. He does not retract his hand offering the handkerchief though, merely giving me a sheepish shrug and another smile, when I finally lift a hand up my cheek and comes away wet. Oh, that's weird. Oh, cast him another look, wary, unsure. All he has for me is the same accepting smile. There's a question behind it, but for the moment he holds off. So with another indrawn breath, I take the offered cloth, but only to keep my hands occupied while I put myself together.
Thanks.
Pull or put myself together? Put myself, is that it?
No problem.
I'll assume that's a
Take your
term.
time if you want, and I'll just be here, pretending I didn't see anything, and yeah, take your time.
You know, I don't know if we've ever heard Zachary, it could be I just forget, narrate how he feels about his friendship with Rebecca. Maybe it's just like, oh yeah, she's a really good friend of mine, and I'm glad, you know, that I know her. And Rebecca's just like, yeah, it's kind of awkward for doing this. Like, if Isabel and Ashton didn't exist, we probably want to be friends.
You okay? Flora almost had you there.
Yeah, thanks again.
That's just, you know, another piece of evidence that Rebecca's a terrible person and we should hate her.
Sorry about that.
Not as much as Marianne, though. The words ring hollow even in my ears, and I'm not certain either if they're meant to be an apology for all his troubles, or showing him the pathetic side of me. Nevertheless, he accepts them.
Nah, it is cool. Surprised me, though. Didn't think you could run that fast. But you don't look really well right now. Something happened?
No, nothing. Nothing important. I was just a little shaken, I think, from all that running. I'll be fine, Zachary.
Well, don't push yourself too hard, alright?
Yeah, you know, sometimes I just cry when I start running. It's the fear of exercise, you know?
I'm sure Bella will understand if you ever decide to take a break. Hell, she wouldn't want us fussing over like this. If you aren't feeling up to it, just say so. Let Ashton and I take over now. It ain't a big deal.
Oh, I'm sure Ashton would love that.
Regret follows the second the heated words leave my mouth. The light mood inevitably shatters. As black as my mood might have been, Zachary doesn't deserve to receive the brunt of it. No one does. Even Ashton. Yet all I see in my head right now is the image of him seating inside that room, spelling his heart out unlike he ever did for me, wearing such sincerity that I've never seen in him before. The concerned expression returns to Zachary's face. With it are hundreds of questions he's been avoiding to ask. Under his honest scrutiny, I balk. I look away before he can see past this and catch a glimpse of an ugly side of me. But considering how well I've handled this so far, I won't be shocked if he already thinks less of me.
Rebecca, is everything really alright?
I bet he already knows the answer to that. Regardless of appearances, Zach can be quite as perceptive as Ashton. It's part of the reason why they became friends in the first place. Frankly, I don't understand why he's making an effort to ask. For the sake of being polite, responding that will only open a whole different can of worms. You should also know that. What a mess. Where's the punctuation? I mean, what do you even know? The phrasing that sounds wrong. So like that could be like, oh, what do you know about the situation so that I can explain it to you? All the missing details. I didn't mean that. They could be, oh, I didn't mean that. I like you as a friend. I hate you, Zachary. See, it could be either one. But it's gonna be, I didn't mean that. Regardless of his good intentions, Zachary doesn't deserve to be caught in the same kind of chaos my mind is in right now. Wait, I'm trying to see branching tree. We're almost free!
I'm sorry, Zachary. I didn't mean that.
Smile. Bottle it up. Hide it where people can't judge, even if it leaves me wanting for a more explosive outburst. At least this way, there's no guilt apart from the one I have to suffer myself.
I know you don't. You're actually scarier than that when you mean it.
Am I? Really?
What if the canon Rebecca round is just to be as mean as possible? I buy it.
Only a bit. A wee bit. Don't take that personally, please. I mean, you're a really nice person, but you also have to deal with Ash and Bella sometimes. That takes a lot of patience, especially Ash. And you're a teacher, so I guess...
I cut that laugh. I regret cutting that laugh.
Yes, ma'am?
You don't have to say anything to make me feel better about myself.
Oh, well, I was just...
Besides, I've already heard most of those from Isabella. I'm used to it. Trust me.
Zachary's eyebrows are drawn together with a glance back at him, his mouth opening and closing in a weak attempt to answer my reassurances. This probably isn't where he wants to take his little talk, but the turn it took left him no other choice. Much like how he found himself thrust in this position. Out of all people, he now has to be the one standing in the middle to fix things, even when no such obligations have been handed to him. Bloody, he didn't even need to follow me. But that's just how he is. This is an unintentional mistake on my part, too, yes. I still can't help but feel responsible. The best apology I can give him right now is a light pat to his arm. Bit half-hearted coming from me, but I still do it. But I do it still. It's not like I have any other thing left I can offer.
Look, Zachary. All of this. It's probably just the stress talking. Don't worry about me. We've all been on the edge since the news broke. I haven't even gotten a decent sleep since it started. And it still doesn't seem like things will be slowing down anytime soon. Maybe it's a good thing Ashton volunteered when he did. At least now we have a few hours to rest, yes? Take your own advice and go get a break yourself, okay?
I throw in another smile at him for good measure, but it falters the second my eyes meet his. It's that look again. The one too honest. If I hold it in for a moment longer, I'll probably end up saying things I shouldn't. More than what I'm willing to disclose at the moment. Because despite wanting to get these feelings across, they're also ones I've harbored longer than any. If Ashton won't hear them, won't have them, then neither has the world any right to do so. I'm more than happy to cling to these if they'll keep the misery at bay. I've already done so before. It won't change a dang thing. Pardon my French. So without bothering with a goodbye, I walk away. Well, that's just rude. Zachary doesn't stop me, doesn't reach out a hand or call my name. This is as far as he'll allow himself to cross. For all his concerns between the two of us, he's more familiar with this line we keep between us than I am. He won't intrude far from what those boundaries will allow. But when his voice rings out again, above the din of traffic around us, in a last attempt to reach me, does exactly what he's been reluctant to do.
Hey, Rebecca! About Ashton.
I stop and turn to look at him, nevertheless. Even with half a mind to bolt, caught between the small urge to hide until this simply blows over in my own curiosity.
Frankly, I don't really understand what happened back there. I ain't gonna pretend I get the gist of it. I ain't sure if this'll help either, but look, he might be the smartest guy I know, but there are times when things go straight over his head. Way over his head.
No malice, no ill will in it. The word's not meant to hurt, just another truth. Because apparently, we've got heaps of those to throw around today.
So, I think you should talk to him, at least. You don't have to do it, of course. That's just my 2 cents. Ashton can be a bit dense. Sometimes...
Wait, hold on. There's something I wanted to check.
Sometimes things really work better if you just say it to him.
Apply. I forgot to hit apply that last time. That's saved, right? Okay. Zachary answered with a shrug, as casual and nonchalant as he can manage. The nervous lines of his shoulders tell a different story, however. He wants to say more, but this is all what those metaphorical boundaries we keep will allow. Or I'll allow what I will allow for now. In the end, he simply settles for a smile of his own, reluctant, unwilling to leave things here, with no expectations of it being returned. Oh. Let's check this out first. It's best boy, okay. He's the one who departs first seconds later. leaving the ghost of what he said hanging over me. So remember that Zachary is the best character, by the way. And perhaps he's the goodest character. And perhaps it's exactly the fear of being left with those thoughts that lead me to the cafe instead. Less time to think about these as long as I'm moving and in the company of other people. Okay. And now, yep.
Let me go, you uncouth lout!
We're a good person, so we apologize to Luke, and because we don't roleplay as Rebecca here, we roleplay as ourselves. There's a term for it. Power gaming, is that the word? Metagaming? Look, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. We never got around it before. Now we may lose that chance altogether. Just another. What's nice is making it while we're playing the long waiting game, teetering between sheer optimism and despair. Your answer arrival this morning has dampened the edge to that somewhat, though only by some. The uncertainty is still there, unspoken throughout the brief time we talked, simply hanging stiffly above our heads. Having another person with us helps. However, I can tell the same doubts has crossed her mind the second she saw her in that room. Ashton himself doesn't look too hopeful when he left a night ago. It was a wordless exchange, partly sullied by my lingering anger and his exhaustion, but has left a sullen atmosphere in the room, nonetheless.
Like an ugly premonition.
Are we good? Yep. You're good at it. Days later, a friend ends up in a trauma center of the local hospital while fighting for her life. Simply isn't enough time to breathe and get a grip on things. Hey Becca, I'll be around Salem Well this evening. Need to meet someone in the area. I might have to drop by yours and Isabella's place after. See ya. Except she won't be there if that scenario ever comes to pass while she's stuck in that hospital. Even after what I heard, or the fact that he detests attending gatherings like this, it's company that counts. We can be miserable together. Sorry, I have other things to do. By that I mean I just want to skip. Despite what happened, I can't help but return it to him. Somehow, I can never seem to stay angry at him for so long.
What brought you here? What is it?
Okay, so we got one of these mini ranches.
Nothing too important. Though I did drop by the hospital this afternoon. I met Belle's aunt, by the way. You never told me she's arriving today.
It's a mere observation, a passing comment, if you will. Maybe under different circumstances, I might have accepted it for what it is. Perhaps if I hadn't heard him pour his heart out that night, well, something would be what he means against my ears. But he has no idea. Not even the slightest inkling. How his words carry a ring of an accusation in my mind. Every time Rebecca says inkling, I just want to play like a booyah. A beat of it in every utterance, closing in tightly around me, intense and keen, as if deprived him of something so precious. Even without her warmth and cheer here, I still can't seem to win. Because he himself holds on to it. To her.
I don't have to report everything to you, do I? Besides, isn't that already a given? We can't be with Isabella all the time. All three of us have other responsibilities. It's better this way.
Her aunt's just one woman too, Becca. She won't be able to handle this on her own.
I wasn't implying.
I know, but... Look, I talked to her. It's alright. If anything, she's relieved. She had no idea who to ask for help. In fact, she wants to see the three of us, if we can all visit tomorrow morning.
Oh, that's probably what that scene is, that... Ah!
You certainly didn't waste any time getting friendly with her family.
What's that supposed to mean, Rebecca? He frowned, a look of genuine confusion spreading across his face, though the moment doesn't last.
Is that... a problem?
Oh no, not at all.
No, but you have something on your mind.
By all means, just do your thing. You surprised me, that's all. Last time I saw you, you still weren't so keen getting chummy with people you barely know. Amazing how fast someone can change overnight, isn't it?
Her aunt needed assistance, Becca.
Rebecca, what is wrong with you? There's no lack of things to add to that. All of it will likely be born out of the hollow ache in my chest. I can go on for hours if I want to. But then in the next second, almost unexpectedly, his tone changes. Kinder. Warmer. Still nowhere near the... Wait, kinder, not kinder. There's a new dating app. It's for people looking for like ways to light their fireplaces. Still nowhere near the one he used when he spoke to her that night, of course. This will never come close to it. Hearing him like this, however, it's easy to forget his heart's already set on someone and realize how petty this is getting. Since when have we become so low? Since when am I?
Is something bothering you? You've been like this since the film fest.
Just like that, what remains of my anger melts away. So in return for usually being able to pronounce Japanese words, I cannot pronounce English words. It's just, give and take. Almost like a betrayal after carrying it around on my shoulders for days.
Having another bad week?
Maybe. What is it to you? Don't expect this to turn into a heart-to-heart just because you made a few assumptions.
Okay, I get it. You don't have to tell me. No need to snap at me. Even Zach's been in an odd mood lately. He's been saying some weird stuff. Must be the weather. But whatever it is, don't let it get to you, alright?
I kind of want to kill Rebecca off. Just kill off the two worst characters, but I'm not going to because I assume there's Coma endings, like epilogues. Gotta catch them all, If only are that easy, but I present him a smile nevertheless, half-hearted as it may be.
This is nothing a cup of tea or a good book can't fix. I'll live. Somehow.
Right then. If you're sure.
Let me skip! He doesn't seem convinced. In any case, he doesn't push it. Changes the topic just as quick. Which I'm glad. No idea what else I may end up saying in the case he pursues
tomorrow? Will you be able to make it? Just for a few hours?
Can it wait until the weekend? I already took a leave this Tuesday. Can't afford another one or two, especially with exams this close.
So, calling it there is going to be like, hey, how about we take her off life support? They're going to be like, what? No.
Is this anything urgent?
No, not really. But the doctors plan to ease Belle out of the coma tomorrow. Her aunt said we could be there when they do, and I thought...
Hang on, what does that mean? Is she okay now?
They won't know until they've lightened the sedation.
He leaves it at that, his words brimming with the same uncertainty plaguing us for days. Behind those, however, is a single note of optimism. One that I don't fault him for having, because suddenly this news, no matter how small, is the closest thing we have to hope right now. I can't say the same for me, however.
I don't promise anything, but I'll give my supervisor a heads up and see where it goes. Does Zachary already know?
Not yet. I'll drop by his apartment on the way back to the precinct.
Why do you guys always leave Zachary out of the know-how?
If anything comes up, you know how to contact me. I'll see you tomorrow, Becca.
Yeah, it's called a cell phone. Ashton squeezes my shoulder, light as he can, before stepping away and heading straight for the stairs. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow, right after Isabella's out of the coma. Do you have time? Yep, we're on a totally new kill me. Let's go to make a save here. Which is, if I lose this footage, that'd be bad. Because then, let's hope it doesn't come to that. The night wears on without further incident, despite the great number of thoughts swimming inside my head. Come morning, there's only a hush, a strange sort of stillness, unlike the ones greeting me every morn. And we're positive now. This one's uneasy, tight with anticipation, like a string stretched thin, really waiting for the proper time to snap. Granted, it doesn't make my day any less pleasant, but the edge is still there. It hangs in the hallway, lingers in the empty unit next to mine. Follows me when I head out, carrying the small little hope I saw in Ashton last night. I just wish I can easily believe in it. It takes a minimum of 21 days for a habit to form, or so claimed a speaker at a conference I once attended. Yet it only took less than 3 for the hospital's sterile scent to lose its sharp odor. Perhaps less than that for the nurses to start glancing at me with an air of familiarity, for my body to know instinctively where I should head to. Which turn to take, how far it is to the nearest stairwell, approximately how many steps until I reach her door. 30 to be exact. I've honestly stopped counting sometime during my second visit. At some point, even the faint beeping from my room was grown oddly comforting. A strange thing to seek reassurance from. Times like this, however, it's all we have. Isabella's lucky. By some miracle, by some sheer force of will, she holds on and pushes back just as death pulls. Just how long will it last, though? Even now, she's still a hair's breadth away from losing that struggle. No matter how promising today might be, the doubt still runs deep. At least for me it does. Sometimes it's better not to hope too much. Although both Zachary and Ashton don't seem to be of the same mind, with the smiles they each greet me the moment I arrive. A small part of me expects this meeting to be awkward. With Zachary here, after he saw me in such a pitiful state. But it is Tim who first offers me a seat. If he remembers, he still has an opinion about what happened 2 days ago. He makes no mention of it again. Likely out of some sense of courtesy. I suppose this is how we'll keep it together for now? With moments filled with superficial smiles and lukewarm attempts at cordiality.
How is she?
Cordiality? It's pronounced cordial, correct? That question, at least, is anything but half-hearted. As if spurred by, Ashton looks up. The first time he does so since his brief welcome earlier. His eyes have been glued to the room nearest us, its doorway only slightly ajar, offering everyone outside nothing but a sparse look of what's inside. All I see in it is uncertainty, yet he stares at it with something close to hopeful. Like doing so will summon another miracle from the depths of near impossibility. Bloody, it's all over his face, long before his voice breaks the silence.
Doing okay so far. They've reduced the sedation hours ago, but it'll take a while before we know anything for sure.
The Ash and I know will never subscribe to that kind of false hope. If there's anyone present who would be, it's Zachary. For reasons no longer unknown to me, he does it anyway.
The nurses are just monitoring her now.
He gestures with his head towards the door, just as one of the said nurses moves past inside.
Her aunt's not in there, though?
Nah, she's speaking with the doctors right now. She'll be back in a few.
Yeah, she doesn't have a sprite, so we can't actually...
She didn't say anything.
Or they're not going to show her.
Don't know. I arrived just when she stepped out. You're gonna have to ask Ash about that.
Aren't you, like, right next to each other?
She came in here hours before I did. She was talking to him about something.
Is that a joke? Ashton arrived earlier than you did?
Yeah, America, ain't it?
I'm sitting right here, you two.
A peal of laughter follows his remark, despite ourselves in this mess of a situation. Immediately the mood around us lifts, if only a little. I doubt it'll shift back to normal entirely, not when there's still a great number of things we were intentionally leaving unspoken. Amazing how simple this is, though, pretending everything's the way they used to be. With only a few words.
We ain't the only ones, though. Bella would probably have had plenty to say about it, you know?
Wait, hold on. Everything's the way it used to be, right? Not they?
She wakes up at 4, Zach. Every day. That's inhuman on so many levels. Besides, none of you can even get out of bed at 6, so get off my case. If Isabella's got a problem with my morning habits, she can complain about it when she's out of coma.
When, not if. Now of all times, he chooses to be like this, decides to forego all the hard truths to chase after that one light at the end of the tunnel. Despite Zachary's reassurance days ago, I'm not foolish enough to carry an expectation as heavy as that. Knowing that she has a chance and taking comfort in the idea is one thing. Clinging onto it and blindly believing what might be improbable is another.
You don't sound too worried about this. Didn't the doctor say there'll be no guarantee? This is just to see if she's improved. That still doesn't mean she'll get better.
Yeah, well, it's not like there's anything we can do about this. She's already there. We're already here.
So, I don't really know how induced comas work. Are they just, like, gonna stop giving her, like, coma juice for a second and see if she's better? And if she's not, they just give her more coma juice? I imagine they have coma juice.
I'd rather not lose sleep over this if I can help it. I've got other things to worry about.
All lies. He doesn't have other things to worry about. If he truly believes that, he won't be raking a hand through his hair after that remark. I've seen him do it more times than I can count, and no, he only does it when he's frustrated. This truly has... Maybe it's windy in the hospital, and... This surely hasn't already weighed on him. The lines of his shoulders won't have that tired slump, nor in his voice will have the exhausted lilt. You really like the word lilt. And inkling. Maybe they, like, to help give the character's voice, they had certain words they only use for certain characters, for example. Like with Rebecca, inkling and lilt. It's been too long since I read the other route, so I haven't picked up on other words. Because if there's anything all these years has taught me, it's that Ashton hates losing anyone, both in the figurative and literal sense. It happened with his mom. Mom, no, take it, the copy. It happened with his dad. And with her like this, on the brink of teetering between life and death, he'll try to keep everything to keep her. You think the world would be much more forgiving if people like him start thinking in such a way. But it's a harsh place still. Sometimes, as good as the notion it is, there are things that were simply out of our control. When it reminds us of it, it does so brusquely. The form of another voice piercing through the dense silence in the hallway.
Miss Santos? Miss Santos, patient is seizing. Get rapid response here. Call for Doctors Nicholas and Beatrix Stat.
Oh, Nicholas Beagle! And Beatrix, she's a knight in Final Fantasy IX. That's her in this universe, too. Tension returns to the hallway in an instant. For a couple of agonizing minutes, only the sounds behind her room reverberates into the hall. A calm voice urgently calling orders. 2 sets of feet moving about. The rapid beating of the machines inside. So is seizing, like, how you would say seizuring? Or, I've never thought about that. A calm voice urgently calls orders. 2 sets of feet moving about and the rapid beeping of machines inside. Suddenly, merely standing in the hall soon proves to be smothering. Too small, too tight, too stifling as the rest of the world fades into nothing. Only the room in front of us matters. Next to Zachary and I, Ashton now stands rigid. The lines of his jaw are clenched firmly, while he gapes at the tiny opening in the doorway with the wide eyes. I hope there's a choice. I told you so. Just... I now want to do that bad ending so much. I haven't even noticed when he's risen from his seat, but a struggle is clear on his face. But before he can take a single step forward, Zachary's hand lands on his shoulder, holding him back. Despite his own worries, he's nothing but forbearing when he mutters his reassurances.
Chill, man. Let them do their work. Leave it to them. She's in good hands, so please, give those guys inside a little credit. They were able to save her the first time, yeah? It's not a code. She hasn't coded yet.
It's not a code. What does that mean? Almost as soon as to confirm it, the loudspeakers crackled to life, the broadcast echoing Zachary's words throughout the whole hospital. Rapid response, room 49, rapid response, room 49. Patient Dr. Nicholas Vogel, Dr. Beatrix Vogel, rapid response, please enter the room 49, start. Are they married doctors? Do you think, like, they met each other at work, or do you think that they, like, both went to, you know, doctor school together? That's what it's called, doctor school. That's the word for it. The message blasts on for another minute before it finally ceases. Takes less than that for the hospital's emergency response team to arrive, but their presence does nothing to ease the disquiet in each of us. Ashton's most of all. The minute the nurse shuts the door firmly on us, he releases the breath he's been holding. Along with it are every shred of hope he's allowed himself to carry. Now crushed under the weight of what he's just seen and every expectations he's carried. It's not surprising that, when he air becomes too heavy to bear for someone like him, he's the one who first steps out. Like every time this has happened.
I'm going to step out for a while. I need some air.
Ashton?
Without another word, he gently brushes Zachary's hand off his shoulder and leaves. Not to run away. Never to run away. He's still too stubborn for that. His bride won't let him, when he knows he hasn't exhausted his options. This is so he can force what remains of his wits into some semblance of order away from his prying eyes. Though Ash doesn't say a single thing, Zachary understands this need quite well. It's a place he's been to numerous times. It's one he requested first for reasons I've yet to know. He's yet to tell me. Hence he refrains, from voicing these thoughts or stopping the younger man once he removes himself from the hall. There's still, however, an undeniable edge to his voice when he urges me to do the opposite, an underlying anxiety beneath that smiling facade. When I allow myself to return in spite of the hesitation his next words spur.
You should go after him.
What? And leave you here?
No, we have to use that CG in another route too.
I can wait.
You know the one.
And I don't think those guys in there will be coming out anytime soon. You'll just get bored. Besides, he listens to you.
Before, perhaps.
He still will. Nothing about that has changed.
He's a grown man, not a baby. I don't have to console him every time something upsets his manly ego.
Doubt must have surfaced in my face, for all my efforts to mask it, because the next thing I know he's laughing. Tired, though lighter than I've heard from him in the past few days, like a heaviness temporarily lifting. Wondering how much this whole thing has taken a toll on him. Strangely, that fact has never occurred to me until now. But even then, he continues as if nothing's wrong. Now, along with a reluctance, swims a twinge of guilt. All this time, I've been looking at how this has affected both Ashton and I, when Zachary is in as much need of comfort. After all, he understands Isabel in ways neither of the rest of us can.
You know it can be one sometimes. Go on. I'll let you two know if anything changes here. And I get the sense you two still have a lot of, things to, talk about.
That much is still true. But I know Ashton. He's not a man who expresses himself freely. He will not yield until he's ready. And this one he might not be too willing to share yet. Still, a huge part of me wishes to go to him. Sometimes I resent myself for getting caught between making such calls. Okay, so if we go after him, we get the astronaut, and we don't want Rebecca to be happy, so we're gonna give him some space. Oh, what, Zachary out? Yeah, Zachary. Well, no, Zachary ends up with words. No, what have we done? We cursed him. What day are we on? 28th, or well, it just says new, right? We cleared them all, so it's so much the hospital looking one. Yeah. In the end, I can't even bring myself to leave. Why would we want to go see Ashton when we could spend time with Best Boy? Well, how much? 30 minutes in? Oh my! I'm just gonna have to call it here again. I figured we'd be done with Rebecca's route like an episode and a half ago, but there's one more episode. Well, probably like half an episode's worth, really, or like 2/3 maybe. I think yeah, about 20 minutes is well. It's impossible to tell with the branching tree, honestly, but there's branches, there's dialogue. It'll take time. Then we have to skip to the end, and there's probably a couple scenes we haven't seen in that yet. So, well, a couple lines rather, but still. So I'll see you guys next time when we finish Rebecca's round, get on to Ashton's, and I imagine his will also take some time. But after that, Luke's will be very quick. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.